You know, the head of Marvel, Kevin Feige, must be absolutely miserable right now. After a huge win over the summer with the box office, Deadpool and Wolverine is beginning to fade. Are we saying that it's not a hit? No, we're saying that something else has come and taken away all of the positive press. It's Agatha all along. Today we'll show you just how far Marvel has dropped. A Variety article is out. You won't believe it. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Pro Channel, where we are changing hearts and minds, dragging Holly Weird back to the sensible center, the mainstream middle, where money is made. Partisan? I think not. Get entertainment out of politics, period. That's what we say. We go to an article out of Variety to begin our day. We'll tell you what happened in the most recent Agatha episode, but we need to show you just how agonizing it must be for Marvel and for Kevin Feige, the big boss of the MCU, to know that nobody cares about Agatha whatsoever. Take a look, folks. Click the like button. This is by Adam B. Very. It says, Toxic Fandom. How Hollywood is battling fans who are just out for blood. From social media boot camps to superfan focus groups. And folks, this is a drivelous, I made that word up, it's a drivelous sort of article. I find no merit in it. I've read it. So why do we have it up on the screen? I'll read this to you, okay? 2 paragraphs in. We'll read 3 paragraphs. You're welcome, Variety. On August 28th, Amanda Stenberg, the lead of the Star Wars series Acolyte, posted an 8.5-minute video to her Instagram stories about Lucasfilm's abrupt decision not to pick up the show for a second season just a month after the season 1 finale streamed on Disney+. What they fail to mention here, of course, is that she also did an impromptu music video attacking the fans just a few weeks before that. Didn't go so well. It's not a huge shock for me, Stenberg said. Since the series was announced in 2020, she continued, we started experiencing a rampage of, I would say, hyper-conservative bigotry and vitriol, prejudice, hatred, and hateful language towards us. She was unavailable, apparently, for comment about what it was like to work for Harvey Weinstein's personal assistant, Leslie Headland. She was the showrunner. Yeah, it's those mean old conservatives. Just, oh, how dare you be against Harvey Weinstein's former personal assistant, Leslie Headland, having a Star Wars show. Conservatives. No, it's everybody, Amanda. It's like 99% of the population. If you said, hey, should we give Harvey Weinstein's personal assistant a show? They'd say, no. And Amanda is in the 1%. She's a 1%er. In other words, the article says, and then I'll get back to Marvel. The Acolyte was the latest high-profile target of toxic fandom, the catch-all term for when fan criticisms curdles from good faith dissatisfaction into a relentlessly negative, often bigoted, said it incorrectly on purpose, online campaign against either the project or its stars or creative leaders. In a franchise economy increasingly dependent upon established audience devotion to drive the bottom line, the threat of toxic fandoms poisoning that enthusiasm has become a seemingly intractable headache for almost every studio, and it's only getting worse. This is an article, folks, that just doesn't like accountability. That's what this is all about. The market is holding studios accountable when they go off into agenda-driven, divisive content creation. And, well, Adam B. Very doesn't like that. And Variety doesn't like that. And the trades, the Hollywood trades, are often the mouthpieces of Holly Weird. So the studios don't like that. But folks, you came here to find out about Agatha. You came out here to find out about Kevin Feige and why he must be miserable. What does this have to do with any of it? Oh, I'm glad you asked. Folks, I don't know if you can see this on your screen. I'm going to try and make it where you can see it. I'm searching for Agatha right now. I don't know, again, if you can see the thing that I have, but guess what? It is a very long article. Take a look at this article. That is an impressive article. Good job, Mr. Very. There's not a mention of Agatha. We are into episode 4 of Agatha. 3 weeks because they doubled up the episodes the first time around. We're in October. This thing wraps by Halloween. There is not a mention of Agatha. Why is Disney's latest big budget live action series not included in this? Fans don't like it. Nobody's watching it. Why is it not even included in this article? Surely it must matter. Well, that is the answer. It doesn't. And not even Adam B. Very believes that it does. because it's not warranted. What is happening right now on Disney does not warrant mention. It doesn't warrant a defense. Also, Mr. Very is not interested in talking about the big wins Disney has had with Inside Out 2 or Deadpool and Wolverine. Erase those from your memory because apparently those movies somehow skated by the toxic fandoms that are just waiting in the bushes to come out and get you, like red hat wearing crazies in Chicago in the middle of the night when you try to go get a Subway sandwich. Mr. Very just can't explain why it is that some movies are praised, some movies are not. And the movies that are not hot, well, it must always be because of toxic fandoms. But Agatha, which clearly is not being received well, it's indefensible. And that's why Kevin Feige is miserable. Folks, let's get the panel on right now. All right, so who wants to do the recap of what happened? We've given a brief one. Jonas, can you give us a rundown of what occurred in the episode?
I've already started to forget.
I can do this very quickly.
Please go ahead,
knock it out.
Did you see the last episode?
Yeah,
we did it again.
Then you saw this episode.
That's well said. It's another escape room.
It was definitely a, oh my goodness, how am I back here again on multiple levels? Because it was the same as the last episode, but it also had another musical number in it.
But still the same musical number somehow.
Despite giving it that description, I think that my reaction to this episode is going to surprise you all.
All right, well, we'll get there in just a moment. So Miss Hart is dead. We get Agatha's Agony's old lover, who is now her arch nemesis. She comes into the fold out of nowhere, and in one of those situations where all the witches are looking at what to do, and one of them says, "Hey, let's do this thing that we've never told the audience we can do, but we all know we can do, and we could have done at any point." And would have also, by the way, meant we didn't have to do the Mrs. Hart thing. And they all go, "Oh yeah, let's do that thing." So then they summon the arch nemesis, and then that leads them into a 1970s studio house where they realize that if they don't sing, then something's going to burn their shoulders worse than a 12-hour trip to Daytona Beach without sunscreen. And that's the episode, folks. That's what you got. Guys, am I missing anything?
Not really.
You forgot Disney diving into demonic stuff.
All right, we've got the bouncy demon
that showed up.
He's a disco demon.
They did the thing that the Lopez's did with WandaVision, and they played the same song but with different chords as to reharmonize it a little bit. But
it's hard to write new lyrics.
It's actually musically kind of impressive to reharmonize a song, especially there is some craftsmanship there. I'm still not going to give this episode a good rating. I'll give the Lopez's a pat on the back.
I like that when the demon showed up.
Vocals were meh.
And it was finally like an actual threat for them to face, where like we could have had like some kind of cool, like, magic battle. They just defeated it with the power of their rock.
All right. Well, I mean, it was technically
which didn't win over the audience. That's what makes it the worst thing. Like, but
it was technically the power of many.
Yes, power of many.
It was terrible.
The only way for that episode to work is if they were truly rocking, and that's still weird, but they weren't. It wasn't great, and because of that, it's even more embarrassing.
How do you not have Patti LuPone be the one to sing? You have Patti LuPone in this show, and you keep making Catherine Hahn sing.
I do have a question. There's some moment in which Catherine Hahn and Aubrey Plaza's characters are talking in a sound booth. For some reason, there's a sound booth, by the way.
It's a recording house.
Right. But that isn't necessarily apparent right at the start?
It's a 70s house with the living room full of musical equipment.
Yeah. There's something that's said in there that gets broadcast into the room. I didn't quite catch what was said there. What exactly was said?
Oh, just how evil. I mean, Catherine Hahn put her hand on the microphone that was in the sound booth so that everybody outside the sound booth could hear what was being said in the room, and had what's her name? Aubrey Plaza's character, the Green Witch,
Rio
basically. Thank you.
Yeah.
How do you remember that? The show is so forgettable. Anyway.
I remembered it because her name is Rio and she dances on the sand. That's
Oh.
literally the device in my head that I used to remember that.
And it's probably the device they used to invent the name. So fair enough. Fair enough.
Okay, but regardless, she's just basically breaking down the fact that, she's claiming that Catherine Hahn's character kills witches, but then they talk about what she took away from her and what her plan is for all the others. And that kind of exposed both of them at the same time. And then she get the last word in before she took her hand off the button, that, what are you talking about? That's my coven. And then
it also confirmed a leak that came out about Aubrey Plaza's character. I don't know if you guys saw this. The identity of who Rio Vidal is in the Marvel universe has come out.
Is it Mephisto?
No. Apparently, it is. Do you want me to tell you? It is a spoiler.
Who cares? Tell us.
Please go ahead.
Apparently, I saw an article. I'm doing a video on it soon. But apparently, on a Funko Pop, it came out that she is Mistress Death.
Really?
Yeah.
That was legit. I thought that was fake.
Was that fake? I don't know. I saw it briefly, and I told myself
I'm
I had to look more into it. But it made
Oh.
sense with her being like, "I want my bodies."
At this point, you could have told me Mystique, and I would have said, who cares? I mean, that's how strange things have gotten. Now, guys, the other part about this, too. Go ahead, Lauren. I see your face. You've got something. What do you...
If it is Lady Death, I mean, she doesn't speak, and so that kind of bothers me a little bit.
Well,
She
she's
sings
also
though, Lauren.
not whoever it is that Thanos is in love with either. So
okay.
I mean,
By the way, it was on Forbes that I saw the thing, so I'm assuming it's true.
You weren't shopping for the Funko Pops. We get what you're trying to say there. It wasn't you that was looking at these things.
Okay.
I wasn't questioning you. I was just thinking that's lame.
Yeah, and that theory's all over the place, and Lauren already pointed out the difficulty with the comic lore now, not to mention the fact that, I guess she said the right thing, that she has a black heart that beats. But,
so she's like Dick Cheney.
I do like the casting. If you were going to cast Lady Death, then Aubrey Plaza, I don't disagree with the casting there.
I think I broke
no.
Jonas.
It was funny. You startled
I can
me.
tell when Jonas leaves his microphone so that he can snicker in the background there.
He has to gather himself.
Well, they are in the woods, so they better look out.
That's right.
Okay.
Just be careful if she asks them to
go.
go duck hunting.
Oh boy.
All right.
Could've named her
Well,
Pally
okay.
Burton.
So the end of
That would've
the
been a great
episode.
name.
We get to the end of the episode, and
Billy, you had backmasking in this. Demon, backmasking, all kinds of, bad juju.
Yep. And Billy gets hurt, and Agatha cares, but Billy's not her son, according to Green Witchy Witch, who is apparently
Where's-
Deathy Death.
She also says, "Where's my bodies?"
Yeah, that's why I think it's true that she's dead.
How? You're
Can you
breaking.
let the bodies hit the floor at some point in the show, please?
Okay, so I'm
drowning
just going to say
pool.
I don't know
done.
anything about how witches work in Marvel. Is there something about green witches that's supposed to have something to do with death?
Neither does Marvel.
This
Well,
is
you
so
also
weird.
green witches are not death.
They're supposed to be like
Well, it's Earth.
agricultural.
And where do you put a body? Typically when it's dead, you put it in the earth. So I'm
Do these
assuming
follow the
that's
same rules
that's
as
the
Wizards
correlation.
in Middle Earth? I need a primer here.
Well, I mean, what?
Are the blue witches really confusing and no one actually knows what they do?
Don't ask the people at Amazon because they don't know.
They don't know.
All right. Well, Lauren has a smile like he's going to unleash on us. Lauren,
Oh, boy.
I'm going to give you the honor of giving us your review, and then we'll go to the others for the review. You say you've got a counter thought to what many are going to believe. So tell us what you thought having watched this latest episode.
I think Jonas is rubbing off on me a little bit.
Uh-oh.
This is still it's still a bad show, right? But I actually kind of liked this episode because of two reasons. One is that I think when Aubrey Plaza shows up, she elevates everybody else on the show.
Yes.
Suddenly people started acting like we're not just reading words from a script. We're actually starting to act like real characters. And that was something that I noticed that I thought was good.
Because
Also,
she's an ensemble actor, Lauren. She is a professional at it. She makes everybody better. She brings everybody to elevates their game because of what she does. She is the best character to bounce off of. She is an active participant.
And she looked like she was having fun. And actually that made the show better. The other thing that I liked is that this was the first episode where I felt like they fully embraced the camp. It's like they bought into the 70s vibe. They did these zoom in shots. They did split screens. They did all of that stuff. I actually think if the musical number had been better, if they really were rocking, you could have sold this kind of like Jack Black in School of Rock. Yeah. And I think that could have worked because then you've got, you do the album cover thing and you play it in with the demon that shows up. That had they actually pulled off the musical number and maybe not, I think, botched the ending of the episode like they did, I think this actually would have been a good episode. As it stands, if you don't mind me giving my score early, I'm going to give this one a 4, which I think
4 out of 10.
That's far more generous than what I've been in the other episodes. I think so far this was the best episode of the show.
4 out of 10 and the best yet. Culture?
I like Lauren, I enjoyed the Rock of Ages moment that was almost there. I think that would have been amazing had they actually embraced it, kind of like Tom Cruise did, the camp of that particular performance that he delivered in that film. Catherine Hahn, no matter what anybody says, she's a great actress. She has a lot of skills. She certainly can pull things off. But Aubrey Plaza,
well, we saw that in the second episode,
right? Yeah, a little bit more lady butt than I probably wanted to see ever. But wait a minute,
culture. Did you just never mind? I'm not gonna
ever.
No, ever.
I mean, lights are off normally. Anyway, back to the conversation. You're gonna get me in trouble. She's in the other room.
Mrs. Culture has the weapon outside of frame, folks. You just can't see it.
Well, I hope not. That the Glock doesn't have an actual safety. Anyway, okay, so no, I'm with Lauren. This is the best episode so far, so I'm going to give it a 3.
All right, he gives it a 3. Marvin, what say you?
You know what? I would have to say Aubrey Plaza did elevate this episode. I do enjoy every moment that she is here. However, I'm going to be a little more harsh than Lauren. But I'm also going to agree with my friend Culture Casino. I am going to give it a 3 out of 10.
Oh.
All right, Jonas.
I don't know. This is pretty boring, and generally, I can get into it a little bit when they put a little music in there. I'm focused on different things at that point, but I feel like Catherine Hahn actually kind of killed it on Agatha All Along, the song Agatha All Along, but it's a tighter song, and this Witch's Road song. Yeah, she's the vocalist on Agatha All Along, the song, which they have not sung in this series so far, which if you're going to make an entire series because of a meme, I don't understand why you don't go for that. Yeah, probably. So everyone misunderstands my scores, so I think I'm doing them wrong. So I'm giving this show a thumbs down.
I will interpret that as a 3. Thank you, Jonas.
Thank you.
And I will say that this episode to me felt like if you took the movie Heavy Metal and combined that with a drug-induced Partridge Family and then said, how about some hocus pocus in the middle of all that? Well, you would get what this is with a heavy dosage of boredom. And because I was utterly bored and because I know that I would not watch this ever were I not reviewing it, I'm giving it a 2.5. And gentlemen, that means that Agatha episode, what is this, 4?
Yep. They really do bleed together.
All right. We give it a 3.1, ladies and gentlemen. 3.1 is our score for Agatha episode 4, 3.1 out of 10.
Can I,
Jonas?
Yeah.
Sorry. Only if they've synced their cycle.
Oh,
You know,
at this point, they have. But I look. I mean,
better pray there are no bears on the Witch's Road.
Be murder on the plumbing.
Every fourth episode, we're gonna have just super bitchy witchies. Anyway,
what if there are floating sharks? That
Culture, what has gotten into you tonight?
I don't know. I'm in a mood. This wasn't good on my psyche. The demon showing up was like, okay, this is Disney Plus. Let's throw in a demon.
And it's not like a Tenacious D demon where it's like, oh, here's a kooky. Maybe he's a little large, but it was like a dirty looking.
Yeah, it was an evil demon. Like
it was like a Hellboy demon.
His twitchy tail is not this kind of demon.
Yeah. This is Constantine level demon. This is no bueno. This is not something that belongs at Disney. So
it's also in the trailers for the show too. So
I don't know if it's
in the ads too.
The demon?
Yeah, the demon, which I had assumed it was Aubrey Plaza's character.
Okay, here's something for you guys to do.
I remember seeing it in the. Oh God, sorry, bro.
Well, just throw this out at you. Take any of the other Marvel characters from the original three faces and put them into this show and see if it ever works. Because it doesn't. You can't take any of the other characters and put them in this. This isn't the same universe. I don't know what this is. It's not Marvel.
I'm trying to think at which point the MCU would actually be compatible with this. And even at Doctor Strange, magic is still supposed to be like the source code of the universe. It's not. They're still not in witch magic at that point. So, yeah. There are some characters that it would be interesting to put in this situation, but it would only be for contrast.
You don't think you can't see Steve Rogers going down the Witch's Road, Jonas?
Oh, it'd be hilarious. That would be but I'm also the one who wanted to see Rocket Raccoon and Steve Rogers planning a battle together, and they're two completely incompatible styles. The straightforward win with strategy and the completely ends justify the means evil little raccoon. Morally flexible raccoon. That is what I wanted to see in the MCU, not Agatha plus a bunch of witches, no matter what their credits might be on this. By the way, you guys might not know this, but the Potions Witch, she's got comedy specials on Netflix. You wouldn't know she's a comedian based on the fact that she's in this show.
The comedy in this show is the worst thing about this show. Jack Schaefer clearly thinks that she's very, very funny. And she's not. You cannot write comedy if you are not a funny person. And nobody involved in this production is apparently funny because the jokes fall incredibly flat. Not one thing even made me crack a smile.
Wait a minute. Nearly Bald Witch is a comedian?
Yes, she is a comedian. She has comedy specials coming out on Netflix, and she has comedy specials already existing on Netflix. There's part of me that wonders, is she actually funny and they're just completely underutilizing her here? Guess who did an interview with this actress and how I discovered this? Alyssa Mercante did an interview with this actress, and I was like, oh, okay. Interesting. Let's see where this goes. And then she was talking about her comedy specials. I just threw in a much more witch-like name into this one, didn't I?
Did you notice the one thing that we learned about every single character on the show in this episode is that they're all at least a little bit gay?
Yeah, I think that's how witches work in Hollywood, isn't it?
If you follow like Nixium or something, but anyway.
That would explain the witch season of Smallville.
And ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the end yet again. Another video of excellence in the can. We do it again and again. Hollyweird just can't understand how we do so. But we continue for you. For you are the gigawatts. You're the electricity that drives it all. Folks, you can help continue driving this train by clicking that like button and making Hollywood go insane. Also, share, subscribe, click it, stick it to the algorithms. It is the notification bell. Drop a comment down below. Let us know your thoughts and share this sucker out on your favorite social media platforms. Until the next time we have the honor of spending time with you, thank you for inviting us into your day. We hope we added value. Folks, wherever you are and whatever you're doing, keep learning, keep growing, and as always, keep having fun.
I'm the ghost of Star Wars. Guys, I'm the ghost of Star Wars. Get it?
You know, we should go and make sure we're subscribed.
Guys, I'm the ghost of Star Wars.
And while we're at it, we'll ring that bell to make sure we're notified.
Great, let's go. Because, well, we actually care about that. Let's go.
Fact. Star Wars is not dead. It's haunting the staffs of Disney Plus.